Hi, it's Marcy with Geode Yoga and Fitness, and we are here today to talk about adjustment disorder and some things that are going on in everyone's household, everyone included. So today I have Shannon Brown, who has been in behavioral health for 15 years, and she currently works for Integrated Services. We have Rachel John, who is a sound healer, and she's also a meditation instructor, and Conchetta, who is a yoga instructor, works at several studios in Chillicothe, and is also a real estate agent. So thank you everyone for joining. Shannon, we are seeking some expertise for the mind game that's going on and how people are or are not adjusting. I'm going to offer what I know as far as body work, and Rachel is going to offer some soul sessions. So Conchetta has willing to share her experience with life as we used to know it and what life looks like now. So Shannon.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shannon Brown, and today we're going to kind of talk a little bit about adjustment disorder and what that kind of means. So I want you to understand that I'm coming from a license, and I pulled out my trusty book with the diagnostical manual, the DSM-5. And I just want to point out a couple of things with adjustment disorder. Adjustment disorder can happen if you get a new job. Adjustment disorder can happen if you move into a new house. Adjustment disorder can happen if something tragic happens. We all experience adjustments throughout our day, in our lives. Many times it's minor, to getting the new car and putting the key in the wrong hole when they move it on you. But sometimes we experience adjustments that are a little more, hit a little closer to home. So I want to read just a couple things that I've picked out here, because it's going to take us on how this is prevalent with us now. The presence of emotional or behavioral symptoms in response to identifiable stressor. The stressor may be a single event, or that may have multiple stressors. So what I was thinking when I read that today, a lot of people, like all of us, and including Conchetta, we've definitely had not only one stressor from where everything's kind of shut down and we're kind of living by a model of shelter in place, but we also have a stressor where, with that being done, our kids are home all the time. Our spouse is home all the time. We can't go out to the store. We can't go, as I drove by and wept a little tear at TJ Maxx because I couldn't smell candles anymore for 10 minutes. But all of those things along our lives, our daily habits, have all been taken away. So when we talk about stressors and what that does, that's a whole, we have all this news and media that's being brought to us daily, whether that's through social media, whether that's through your news or the 2 o'clock DeWine announcement. Whatever it is, you are getting flooded all day long with news. Most of it right now is not good news. They highlight a lot of things that make you feel inside stress, which trickles out into a whole nother kind of situation with
Disorder. Yes,
which we don't want to go there. But this is what I want to just point out is that this does, if you look at the diagnostical situation, when you have a stressor that is an acute event, the onset of disturbance is usually immediately. So this is an acute event. Hopefully, this is an event that's happened, and this will be it starts immediately. So immediately getting the news that all of this stuff's coming in, your symptoms start now. But the good thing is that now that we've been in this a couple of weeks, a lot of people are kind of finding their new normal. And that's important, is to try to find a new normal and new ways to deal with all of the social the news and the social media and stuff. How do I live in my new normal now?
Mm-hmm. Conchetta, can you share your experience of last week compared to this week, and even what may or may have, changed or adjusted for you now that we're getting into this, what we feel like is new normal?
Sure. So last week, probably like many others, I was on an emotional roller coaster, very anxious, completely out of routine. So it just seemed like things weren't flowing right. Since then, I have made that a priority. So I try to get up in the morning and be very intentional about the day, start out with my meditation. And I've actually started back my home yoga practice, which, to be quite honest, as a yoga instructor, you'd be surprised to know that I don't regularly have a home practice. And that's because I do have 3 people, one is which joining me right now, that are in constant need of something. So the second my mat goes down, it becomes an opportunity for playtime. So I've had this opportunity now to even incorporate them a little bit, but to really start focusing on that and getting that time for me so that I can mentally be more prepared to be a better mom, especially since my role has shifted from just being a stay-at-home mom to now also a homeschool teacher. And yeah, so it's been a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we had a little chat prior to this meeting, and I think we got into her a little bit about, yeah, mom's not happy, nobody's happy. And I think that's some of the advice that I want to give.
Yes.
And I noticed, last time we met, you were dragging her out of the room, and I'm like, no, we need to see, everyone needs to see that everyone is going through this. You don't have time to yourself. And this is reality. This is reality. So you have to work out schedules and work out things. Fortunately, I don't really have, I want to say fortunately, but no, I'm missing my family. So I'm on the other side of that, where I'm trying to stay away from my mother. I have that anxiety of worrying about her. I don't want to get around my daughter. She's frightened to get around me because we both have autoimmune. So we're being a little paranoid about that. Yeah. So Rachel, what can you advise in the way of mindfully what we could do for ourselves that we don't feel guilty about?
Yeah, definitely. Conchetta, I'm so happy to hear that you are making time this week for your morning meditation routine. I love that. As a meditation teacher and a sound healer, I am often working with people who are looking for a little bit of space in their lives, right, for themselves. And I think now we find ourselves in a situation where we have more space because we're not going out in the world. We're not maybe going to work, and maybe, we'd had a 20-minute commute to work before, and now we have that 20 minutes at home. And it's like, how do we fill that space with something that will benefit us, right? And just making that decision or trying to figure out what to do with that time can be a little bit stressful on its own. So what I would offer to anyone who's finding a little bit more time in their day would be to start a meditation practice in the morning. You can start with 5 minutes, but just having like a specific place in your home, right, that you go to, like as routine as you can make this, the easier it'll be, because the fewer decisions you have to make along the way, right? So if you can get up and get your morning tea or your morning coffee and go to that one specific spot, right? Maybe it's on just sitting on your couch, sitting on the floor by the window, wherever that is, and just trying to breathe for like 5 minutes, right? Set a timer on your phone, place your hands in your lap, close your eyes gently, kind of bring your focus here to that point between your eyebrows, and just inhale and exhale and take those 5 minutes just to be quiet and to calm yourself down. It'll do wonders for your nervous system. I think a lot of us are waking up right now and we're like, okay, what do I do? Right? And that kind of goes back to, it goes back to Shannon. I'm, with the adjustment disorder, it's like, how do I adjust to this? What do I do? So again, what I would offer is just start your mornings with a quiet 5 minutes. If that means waking up 5 minutes earlier because I don't have kids, so I don't know what that's like.
But you're alone. So on the other hand, you're adjusting to not being able to just have
to
people
go out and
over or
see
go
people,
out.
totally.
All coming from a different place.
Yeah, totally. So, I would strongly encourage people to like find that time for yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. The more you show up for yourself, the better you can show up for everyone else. And that's true whether you're a friend, a daughter, a mom, a coworker, whoever you are. The better you take care of yourself, the better you can take care of those around you. So, yeah, just find a 5 minutes to just sit quietly in the same spot every day and do some deep breathing.
I love that.
Will really
Rachel,
change.
Can you offer any, so when I've been speaking from a place of encouraging people to find tools to cope so that you can come into the nurturing side of yourself rather than the anxious side.
Right.
So do you have anything that you can offer via online or, I mean, besides what you just gave, and now you do a fabulous sound healing.
Yeah, definitely.
If we can convince you to share one of those sessions with Geode.
Yeah,
online,
definitely.
maybe we could talk about that. But if there, maybe we can add some resources. We could tag it with this video to offer some resources that you could maybe share. I always say, not the Brain FM app because you have to pay for that, but Headspace. Headspace is an amazing tool, and it's 10 minutes, if it's even 10 minutes.
Headspace is great. Calm is great. There's one that I love that's completely free called Insight Timer.
Mm-hmm.
And on Insight Timer, you can choose your duration, like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and it'll sort the available options by the duration that you're looking to do it. And even 5 minutes, just starting that practice, having that spot in your home that you go to every morning, you sit down and you start.
And people think that you have to sit in meditation. You don't. You can run to meditate. You can lie down to meditate.
Yeah, right.
Everybody thinks they have to do that, and I can't do that. I struggle with that a lot.
Yeah. So meditate, like at its most basic fundamental level, meditation means to have a sustained single point of focus, right? So for a lot of us, we choose the more traditional route of sitting in meditation because I really wanted to like strengthen that muscle, right? So at this point, I have over 250 hours of certification in meditation, so that's just sitting. But you can run, you can wall gaze, you can walk, you can listen to music, you can do a sound bath. There are so many things you can do.
So Conchetta, your daughter is so cute, but I have to wonder what Conchetta would do with 250 minutes right now.
Yeah, truly.
250 hours.
Hours, yes, hours. Sorry, not. See, I mean, we were happy at 250 minutes.
Yeah, no, that was a soft flex, just putting it out there. But yeah, if anybody wants to work with me or wants to learn more about meditation, you can find me on Instagram at Heart Space Rachel. Rachel is spelled RACHAEL, Heart Space Rachel. Yeah. Space the actual word, not like a.
I love your name. That's my daughter's name.
Heart Space
We're so connected. Yeah, and she's amazing.
Cool.
So Shannon,
yes.
What do you have tools and resources that you could offer up, or is there anything that you could add to the link maybe to the video afterwards for people that may need some counseling or some advice?
Yes, there are some tools that I would like to share, and I would like people to start understanding that not everyone's going to end up with first I want to clarify, not everyone's going to end up with an adjustment disorder because of this. You may be experiencing things that appear to look like an adjustment disorder, which you are trying to adjust. Some people are going to get upset, find their new normal, and move on. If you are struggling during this time, forever how long this goes on, and you're finding that you are still struggling after this ends, or 6 to 9 months, or you're, say this ends in a couple months and you're still a few months later after this, you're still hung up with not being able to sleep, having racing thoughts, not being able to bring yourself back into a new normal, please seek out somebody to whether that be your primary care physician is always a wonderful place to start. Primary care docs, you know, they kind of are just the gurus of everything. They deal with depression, mental health. They deal with physical health. They deal with just seems like everything. So your primary doc is always a good place to start. And then, you know, they can, if they are unable to kind of assist you through this, or maybe they can get a better understanding, they can refer you to someone. But I would also, going off of that, if you know you're going to spend that 5 minutes in the morning for meditation, because this happened to me the other day. I took my lunch. I'm working nonstop now because of just, you know, trying to understand, run a behavioral health practice with now a new normal of not seeing patients in the office. So now I have to, you know, bring myself back, and we have to start sending out appointments via telepresence and things along those lines. So I needed to just take a walk. The sun was out. I took a walk, and I was on my walk, and my phone started dinging. So then I get my phone out on my walk, and I look, and it's one of my workers had been exposed to a patient that was in the hospital in a different county than ours. So then I immediately start back to that. The time that I was going to spend on myself, I was being interrupted by a stressor. So I needed to power that phone off. Yeah. I need to detach myself from that. And I would advise anyone that if you are going to spend 5 minutes, an hour, or you're going to take that walk with a friend, if you're capable of not being in touch, or if you're not on call for work, or you need to tell your family, like, look, I'm powering this phone down so I can go take care of me, then that's exactly what you need to do.
And Shannon, what I would offer there is that a good way to do it is to put your phone on airplane mode, so that no calls and messages are coming through, but that you can still use like your timer, or you can keep track of time if that's something that you need to do. Like if you'll worry, I'm going too long with my walk or with my seated meditation, like you can use some of the functions on your phone while still having it on airplane mode, so you don't get the disruptions that can like distract you.
Yeah, great tool. I just always shut it. I'm shutting it off.
That's good. That takes practice, and that's difficult for a lot of people
totally.
to do. Conchetta, so you were in a pretty anxious body last week, and since we've spoken and you are taking some time for yourself, do you feel a difference in the way that you are present for your family?
Absolutely.
Yay!
I cannot speak. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, so good. So good.
Yes. Certainly sunshine helps. Big advocate for being outside and moving. Big advocate of exercise, even though to be quite honest, I was a little scared to do too much strenuous exercise over the last couple of weeks
because
I was afraid.
Right, because your body feels weaker when you're recovering from exercise.
And I was so anxious about everything that I thought, just knowing my own personality, if I start getting too much body aches that I wasn't used to, then I would convince myself that I had the virus, and then so I just even stayed away from exercise.
Yeah.
But yes, absolutely. Trying to get back into that routine, making it a priority. Even if it is, I really appreciate that suggestion, Rachel, to like put the phone on airplane mode and even set a timer to be able to like, I'm going to give myself this amount of time. And then you don't have to feel so guilty that you've gotten caught up in your own little world, and your next thing you know, it's been an hour or so.
Right. Well, I think we all get caught up in fulfilling everyone else's needs, and then we forget about our own needs, and you can't drink from an empty cup. And,
absolutely.
And if you move your body, you move your mood, and there's so much truth in that. And I really feel sorry or bad for people that haven't figured that out yet. So
Absolutely.
I'm hoping, and yoga, and I mean, as a medical professional, I don't know how often you guys refer people to yoga, but I know it's beginning to be more of a thing. I'm hearing in the medical field that people are, you know, the studies show that it changes the brain path. You know, I mean, there's scientific evidence for what yoga and meditation does for you. So it's becoming more and more clear for people. So Shannon, I don't know what your role is in that, or if you're able to even offer that up for people.
Actually, do you know, I'm just going to say her name. I hope she doesn't mind if she ends up watching this. Gemini, right?
Yes.
She actually would have some, during her sessions with, they would just get the yoga mat out in their office.
Nice. Yeah, she was a client of mine.
Yeah, and get down and stretch. And so basic, just stretching and breathing. And I mean, and something else people, I want to point out real quick, two things. You don't have to be certified to stretch. You know, you can get on the floor.
Keep stretching, right?
Yes.
Be careful with that, though.
Yeah, right. But you can sit on your floor and touch your toes and breathe and right now with all of these people, the second part of that is with all us right now, and I know you're offering some online things. A lot of people are. I see stars and musicians playing free concerts from their houses.
Yeah.
And right now is a perfect time if you're wanting to try something that you're not necessarily sure you're ready to go out in public and do. Now is a perfect time to get on one of these.
I've said that in some of my blog posts. Yeah, it's a doorway. Yes. It's a doorway because no one has to see you.
No one has to see you. You can just try it out, and you may say, that's for me, or you may say, no, I really didn't like that. Because now that we're inside, I've seen tons of things. Like I can get on there and listen to, I forget, it was like John Mayer or something.
I don't want it to be the new norm that people are giving all their stuff away there. I'm like, for the side, I don't want it to change the whole industry. So slow down.
Right. Yes.
She's absolutely right. But this is the time, we actually have the time now to set a new normal, like to actually get in a routine. So you can train yourself now during this 30 days that we're all kind of stuck inside. Let's get in the habit of doing things, and then that'll carry on when we get to go back out into the world. Yeah. This is a great opportunity to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I think we won't ever be at our old norm. But this is a new norm that we are going to be able to reach more people. That's my whole thought in all of this. Like, I know this is scary for a lot of folks, and a lot of folks are feeling very overwhelmed. But we will come out of this, and there will be a new norm. Yeah. And I think telepresence, and my agency does tons of telepresence, and I feel that this has been a big impact for my agency, but we did so much before that this is kind of who we are. Other agencies have been trying to play catch up to that, and you know, I get it. We're trying to move into a new norm, and I think we worry about that too. Now, are patients really going to want to come back to the office when they know that laws and regulations and things like that have been lifted? They'll go back to normal when we go back to our new norm.
The only thing I could really say about that, or to add to, I don't want people to give away free yoga and no one come out in community anymore. That is not something I want to see. I want to see people gather. But when it comes to visiting doctors and hospitals, I mean, why can't they do virtual sessions with their patients? Why are people going in and subjecting themselves to illness unnecessarily if they don't have to? And why is it so expensive? I know I'm a patient of Cleveland Clinic because I have autoimmune. And if I want to do a private session with my doctor, I've got to pay out of pocket to do that. That's the part that, I mean, that's another subject. We could get on that subject. I've been on a rant for a couple of days now about policies and how things are going and not going. And I've got too much time on my hands, see? That business. Meditate. No, I need to go run. I went to run yesterday in the state parks. People are not understanding distancing when they go to state parks. I see groups of teenagers there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, there are a lot of places you can get outside without entering into those masses. So yeah, I'm always saying that, go outside, go outside, go outside. So
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to add to the conversation? Or yeah, I want to welcome Shannon and Rachel back for another session. I think we're going to move forward with Mind, Body, and Soul Sesh, and welcome some people that want to come just join us and talk about, what they're going through in this transition and how it's affected their lives, no matter what. There are small businesses out there that I know are suffering, and I'm hoping that we can maybe find a community of people that are going through that as well, not just adjusting to their kids being home, but their livelihood's been totally shaken up. So yeah, I'm hoping we get a lot of comments and reviews from this session, and we can offer some advice to others that are coming from another place.
Yeah, and I think this, I love this coming together of us who all come from like kind of different perspectives and have mastered a different skill or technique when it comes to adjusting. But for anyone out there who is having a hard time adjusting, don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Right.
Like there's a lot of people online right now, all of us included. But if you are feeling, overwhelmed and you're not sure what to do and you're not sure where to turn, like feel free to reach out to us, or I just encourage you to find some resources, reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member. And we're all going through this together, which is another really interesting component, I think, of a global pandemic, is that like we all go, like Shannon mentioned earlier, like we're all going through adjustments constantly throughout our lives. But with this specifically, every single person in the world is being affected by the same thing, which is the most connected
That we've ever been.
Feel
that we've ever been.
And unfortunately, it's through a virus, but it's still kind of this interesting point of intersection where we realize like everybody's going through something, right? And whether it's all going through the same thing or going through something different, like it's okay to show up and voice what you need from the people in your life. And if you don't have that person, like please reach out to me. I will be that person. I think all of us on that call will be that person. So yeah, I'm just sending everyone lots of love and healing and positive vibes. And
yeah, because fear does break down the immune system. So that's a fact.
Another truth.
Try to get out of that fear-based body and into the nurturing body for yourself and your family.
Yes. And also, I'm glad somebody brought up the word fear. Please don't make any life-changing decisions right now.
I've been saying that.
don't decide. Take some time. However long this goes on, I'm not sure, but try not to make any real crucial decisions, because right now we are kind of being motivated by fear, and those are not good decisions when you're feeling that way to make. So that's just, try to hang on as long as you can and really sit with it. Talk to someone, reach out to a counselor, somebody who has a license, social work counselor, psychologist, doctor, your primary care doctor. Reach out to
meditation teacher, yoga teacher.
Yes, somebody who's
right.
can help you with that before you just make a decision right now.
Right. I agree. Okay, so
Thank
I
you,
think
everyone.
this probably brings us to a conclusion of this session, and I just am so grateful and thankful. And Shannon, thank you for reaching out, and I just love that I have this connection with Conchetta, and Rachel, what you've brought to me and my community has been just super amazing, and I can't wait to do it again. The sound bath sessions are super, super healing. And I can't wait to hear that vibration in the dome again, and it's going to happen. So I'm hopeful.
Okay.
So thank you, everyone. I will be posting this on social media, and feel free to comment on the session with any questions or what maybe you would like the topic to be. It's probably going to be the same topic for a while, but maybe people coming from a different place different background, different set of issues that maybe we could discuss and offer some advice or help. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.